So this week, the vegetable of the week is zucchini. Today all we're going to do is we're going to grate some yellow zucchini and some green zucchini using a cheese grater. We're going to mix it with some scrambled eggs and we're going to make this yummy zucchini bake. And along with that we're going to saute some shallots, hot and sweet peppers as a bit of a topping. And it's really yummy. This is something my mom made me when I was a kid and I'm excited to share it with you. Alright, so we're going to start off with the zucchini. This is about as big of a zucchini as I would want to use for this. The bigger zucchinis they get kind of tough, and I want a nice ripe zucchini, not too tough. The smaller ones are more tender and tasty. So you're just going to use the big side to grate this. Zucchini has a lot of water in it, so after I grate it, we're going to try to press some of that water out. Okay, so now that we have the zucchini grated, I'm going to use a mesh strainer and we're going to put the zucchini in here and just kind of press it so we get a little bit of the water out. It's just going to help with baking the eggs. We don't want too much water to end up in the eggs, just because then you got watery eggs and that's not that great. So we got this, just gonna push it down. And I can just leave this to strain here for a minute while I move on to the next tasks. All right, up here at the farm, we have a couple chickens. So we have 5 chicken eggs. We're gonna crack them into this bowl. We're gonna add a little bit of whole milk, which is not necessary if you're, I was gonna say if you're going for a vegan option, but we're using eggs, that's silly. So we're gonna scramble some milk and eggs in this bowl. And then the basis of this recipe is just scrambled eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper and that shredded zucchini, and we're gonna bake that. And then we're gonna use these other veggies and herbs to spice it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna crack these eggs and then scramble them together. Alright, so now we have our scrambled eggs here. Our zucchini has been able to strain a little bit. I'll put it right in there. And we're just going to pour. First I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Just about a nice palmful of salt. Black pepper. Then we're just going to add our eggs in. And using a So I have a pie tin here. I'm going to take some softened butter and I'm just going to rub the sides of this with some butter so that our zucchini bake doesn't stick too much. You can also do this with oil or Crisco or shortening or lard or whatever else you got. And then we're just going to put the bake right in here. Spread it around evenly. Came out very nice for the amount we're making. Then we're just going to pop this in the oven at about 400, and it should take about 25 minutes to bake. Alright, so for the rest of the ingredients, let's talk about what we have. These are shallots. It's a kind of onion. It's great for cooking mostly. We're going to start with those. Then we have some sweet peppers. These are called Jimmy Nardellos. They're a cayenne pepper, which is usually used for hot sauce, but these are actually a sweet pepper, so they have a great taste. These are jalapenos. These are kind of part way between being green and turning red, like when they get ripe. Then we have some parsley, some basil, and some chives. And the plan here is to cook these down really nice, then add the sweet and the spicy peppers. When the zucchini bake comes out of the oven, we're going to top it with this stuff, and then we're just going to keep these fresh, dice them up really fine, and put it on top when we serve it. And that's that. of our sweet peppers. And then for slicing these, I'm not too worried about the seeds in them. I'm just going to give them a little side cut like this. Just so they look kind of cute. And I'm going to do all these. I really love the sweetness that these give, and they go really, really well with the shallots. For the jalapenos, people usually prepare jalapenos one of two ways. They take the seeds out or they leave the seeds in. And just to show both, I'm going to do both. So what you want to do is just cut them open, and then just with a spoon or with your finger, just pluck out the seeds. This is just so that you get some of the taste of the jalapeno, but you don't get as much spice. So I leave this up to your discretion. I like the spice of jalapenos, but depending on who I'm cooking for, I might leave them out. And then just give these a nice chop. And then for this one, I'm going to leave the seeds in. I'll just chop them the same way. And that's that. So now our veggies are prepped. Alright, so I've already melted a little bit of butter in here, and I'm just going to add some olive oil. I really like sauteing things with both butter and olive oil because it tastes really good. And then just to check the temperature, you can drop in some shallots. I'm going to turn the temperature up a little bit, and once those shallots start sizzling, I'll add the shallots. I'll let them cook for a few minutes, and then I'll add the peppers. Alright, so it's time to put the shallots in. I want to cook the shallots for a little bit longer than the peppers, so I'm going to add them first on their own. And onions have a lot of water in them, and salt helps bring water out of things. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. Stir that in a little bit. Alright, so the shallots have browned just a little bit. I'm going to add the peppers, both the jalapenos and the Jimmy Nardellos. Just give those a little stir. And turn the heat down a little bit. We kind of want the peppers to stay quite a bit more raw than the onions, because they give us a nice crunch and their flavor really stands out when they're a little more fresh. Alright, so the peppers have been cooking alongside the shallots for a few minutes now. It smells wonderful in here. The peppers are soft, but they still have a little bit of their fresh crunch. So I'm going to turn the heat off and leave them just like that. Okay, in preparation for the zucchini bake coming out of the oven, I'm just going to get some of the garnishes ready. Gonna get some lemon slices. This is one of the only things in this recipe we didn't grow here on the farm. Not quite that warm. I'm gonna dice some chives. Going to dice some parsley. And lastly, do some basil leaves. Then just toss all these herbs together. And we'll put those on right at the end as the final dish. So there it is. We have a nice little bit of a golden brown. Turn the oven off. Now what we want to do is we want to put this together with our other toppings. So here we have our peppers and onions. Scoop these on. Make sure you get those crusty onions, and you can allow that butter and oil to get on there too. Spread it out. Then we'll take a nice handful of our fresh herbs. that over top. A squeeze of our lemon juice. And there you have it. It's a great breakfast or lunch or even a dinner. Enjoy, everybody. I hope you make this one.